So then they do the Elimination Chamber. Drew wins, and then then Lashley comes out and beats the shit out of him, and then Miz cashes in the Money in the Bank. Everybody freaks out online. Oh my God, Miz! I'm like, dude, this is the whole point of the Money in the Bank. Is an undeserving guy has a chance to win the title, and that's what happened to Miz. So that's the way it's supposed to work. So I don't know why everybody's all upset about this.
It's I guess they're gonna have Lashley as the champion. It's something that's a lot of people have been looking forward to. Lashley finally being taken seriously and getting that push, and then I think it'll set up Lashley and Drew for WrestleMania, which is like a big guy. Should be a really good match, and you'd have to imagine Drew will get the belt back. This is all just a setup to let Drew get his coronation this year in front of actual fans. I think.
All right, so Raw starts off. The Miz comes out, cuts a promo, bragging about winning everything, and was out there with Morrison. Bobby Lashley makes his entrance, accompanied by MVP, who was using a single crutch following the knee injury that he suffered a week before. I did not know that MVP had gotten hurt, by the way.
Yeah.
Once inside the ring, MVP congratulated Miz on behalf of the Hurt Business. MVP said Miz omitted the part of the story where Lashley destroyed Drew McIntyre, which allowed him to become champion. Miz said he was just getting to that. Miz tried to excuse himself so he could go celebrate, but MVP stopped him. Lashley said Miz owed him a debt he was there to collect. Miz admitted that he didn't promise Lashley a championship match, but he claimed there was no time. Lashley grabbed Miz by the throat and said they made a deal. Lashley said Miz has an hour or he would be starring a reality show about how Lashley sent him to the emergency room. What did you think about this interview segment?
Okay, well, this is what I thought. I hadn't seen wrestling like in around 3 weeks, but I've been watching it for the last few years. And I thought after the way Otis embarrassed Miz on SmackDown, left him in his underwears, all the corny, stupid lines, the way Otis and the other guy just destroyed Morrison, the way they've been treated on Raw. Now we're supposed to take this guy somewhat seriously. I just thought it was a huge letdown.
Well, that's the thing, is I'm listening to it. Miz can cut a good, serious promo, which is what he should have been doing like he was doing here. But the thing is, you've had this guy doing buddy cop comedy with Morrison. They've been acting like idiots for like the past 3-4 months on TV.
It's like a year, almost over a year.
Yeah,
right?
and it's like, so now it's like, okay, why would I take this guy seriously?
Right.
It's like he's been. Why would I take this guy seriously when he hasn't been taking things seriously?
Right.
Like his character hasn't been taking things seriously.
Right.
So
I thought this was very underwhelming opening segment.
So then we had Riddle was backstage with Lince Dorado. Why this match? Why they're pairing these guys together is beyond me. I have no idea why. But Riddle was backstage with Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik. He thanked them for having his back, and Riddle said he wanted to name the eagle on the U.S. Championship belt Travis because he had a metalhead friend named Travis. Riddle drove off on a scooter while Phillips hyped his match against John Morrison for after the break.
Yeah. So here's another guy who's been treated like an absolute goof, still acting like a goof, but now we're supposed to forget about it because he's the champion.
And these guys are two title holders, and they're two goofballs.
Right. Anyone that watched Riddle on The Ultimate Fighter in the UFC knows that he can go. Even with a smile on his face. Like, he was like a smiley guy on that show, but he could get down to business and kick everyone's ass in the octagon. I don't think they show enough of that here. He's the goof, but he wins matches, but he never gets intense.
Right. He never goes crazy. As a matter of fact, they get heat on him a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he's a UFC guy. He's getting beat down and tossed around like a rag doll by Lashley.
Give him a little shamrock.
If you watch it, you missed the past couple weeks going in. Bro, Lashley had him in the full Nelson. This is how they went off TV like 2 weeks in a row. He had him in the full Nelson. He was just flipping him around like he weighed like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And was just tossed him like a sack of garbage, and like that's how he's been treating Riddle, and then Riddle beats these guys.
So I'm sitting down, and this is what I'm thinking: you treated Morrison and Miz like goofballs, like dumbasses, like jackoffs, like cast-offs, like a bunch of J-Brones and Riddle. And now you think because you put a title on them, we're supposed to forget all of this. It's like your wife cheated on you for a year, and now she decided to finally you after a year, and you're supposed to forget all the shit you did for the year. You know what I'm saying? Give me a break. I thought it was brutal beginning. Go ahead.
I think they should put a little Shamrock in Riddle. Remember when Shamrock, when something like a match result will get changed or something, he'd snap and attack referees, put the ankle lock on and not let go? Give Riddle some of that. Give him something that pushes his buttons until he clips.
Yeah, but let me tell you something too. It's on him too. Some of the stuff in there because he does this.
He embraces it.
Yeah,
but here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his work
because
he's got a couple bad habits. He's
a silly guy in real life.
He's got to get rid of some bad habits because this is one of his bad habits. He's a shooter. He's like a UFC guy. Bro, these belly slaps that they do in there, they got to stop doing that. It looks atrocious. You see, it was like it's supposed to be a strike, but he's smacking the guy in the belly.
Yeah,
have you seen that?
Like the palm strike.
It looks like he's green and doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
it looks atrocious. He needs to stop that.
Yeah.
But this was actually these guys. Morrison never has a bad match. This is actually pretty good.
Bro, did you see that dive that he did outside and landed on his knee? It's like, bro, that's not even necessary. But that's the type of work rate that Morrison has.
Yep.
He could have up his knee and been out for a while.
So Sarah Schreiber was backstage with Bunny and Priest, and then Truth shows up and is trying to, whatever. So this was a mess. Silly more, bro. Like everything is okay. It's like we get two of the silly characters on the show now are the champions, and they're trying to act serious. And now we're going to the next silly thing here with Truth and the 24/7 thing.
And here's the other thing that you see a lot in wrestling. When other artists come into our industry and they figure out it's not that easy. Bad Bunny ain't really blowing up the super charismatic guy that you're like, wow, I want to hear what's the next cool thing he says. Like, he knows he's with guys that know how to talk in a business that's not his. I'm not feeling the chemistry between him and Damian Priest, and I'll tell you why. I thought he should have been with Carlito because Carlito is, from Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican, and they should have done something with them. But I know that he lived there 10 years ago. Right. He doesn't come off as me as an urban guy. He comes off as a rock and roll guy.
Gotcha.
I know you're a big fan of his, but I don't see a lot of chemistry between these two. And what they should have done is, if you remember what got Damian Priest over, because he was a rock and roll guy.
Yeah.
That was, having girls in jacuzzis. Him and Bad Bunny should be in jacuzzis. They should be in limos with ho. You know what I'm saying? They should be living it up, not backstage with the guy with the belt around his neck, just standing there while Priest gets in everybody's face, and then he's on the outside, just I don't know how I don't know, bro. It's very weird. This whole Bad Bunny thing is not working for me.
Well, what they did was kind of when we talked about it last week, Konnan, was that they gave him the 24/7 belt, and obviously it was, hey, that's
a big belt to have.
Well, he was going on Saturday Night Live, so of course it was like, here, wear our championship on Saturday Night Live, and I saw pictures of him singing or whatever, and he had the belt on.
Let me ask you a question.
That's cool.
Joe, do you play the WWE video games?
No.
Do they have I wonder if there's a mode on there where you can play 24/7, where literally they have the thing where it's like, you have like just a group of people like chasing you around, it's like Pac-Man. Like you're going through I wonder if they have like that mode on this thing.
The last one I played, you could fight backstage and all that, and there's like storylines, but there's also a booking mode where it was the same thing like as the booking type games where you would have a card and then you would just watch it. You're not even playing. I always thought that was a little strange.
So next is Kofi and Xavier Woods against T-Bar and Mace. Bro, I had no idea about this. So the Retribution just wrestles like the Keystone Cops right now. They're doing like a comedy gimmick. Like they can't get out of their own way out there. They're running.
Well, here's the other
running
thing.
over the top rope, and so they're like doing like goof. They're like wrestling like goofs.
Here's the other thing. So they've got again. All right. Now I haven't seen this in like 2 weeks. Again, at the end of the match, which was a quick match, you've got 4 heels standing in the middle of the ring being ostracized by a guy half their size who's basically calling them a bunch of bitches.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't just punk him the out, okay? And New Day beat 4 heels and left with like nothing.
Yeah.
So 3 segments where I've thought, there's nothing entertaining. This is ass backwards. Bro, let me tell you, if I had the resources and I could get like 5 or 6 smartest guys in the wrestling business to put together a show, I could put together a show that had some comedy, not too much, really interesting storylines that would hook you, and we try to make as many people as we can and all the stupid politics and games and all the and let's do some business. But what I'm starting to see is this is a business where anybody can be in it. Anybody, if you know the right person, you can get into the business. and they put you in there way ahead of time, even though you're underqualified. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're getting, bro. These up shows that are basically now for kids. That's what it is. It's for kids.
Weird. So then they do. Lashley comes in the ring with Adam Pearce asking for the decision whether or not he's going to get his title shot from Miz. Strowman comes out, basically says he should get a title shot because he was whatever.
Right.
Shane comes out. Shane cuts what I would call a Wade Keller promo.
Right.
Because this was just you could tell it was a written promo, and it just was like very organic and not organic and very weird verbiage.
And not only that, and here's a problem I have with Braun Strowman now. Besides the fact that we'll get to his match in a minute, his promo is very, 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 very one-dimensional. Just a lot of screaming. This is the mistake you make when you don't pull the trigger when you should. He means nothing to me, bro. He doesn't mean anything to me. I don't give a if he's a champion.
Yeah.
He's not intimidating to me. His promos aren't that good. Oh, I gotta get these hands and all this. Bro, they him over a long time ago.
I think that they see that now, that this is, look how bad he got beat by Lashley. That they kind of, either they're going to give him some time off and bring him back with a fresh coat of paint, or they don't see him as a top guy anymore.
That's their fault. And it's his, too, for dressing up like a elf or whatever the he was doing.
Yeah.
So they've set a match basically saying that there was going to be a 3-way for the title, but Strowman's going to wrestle Lashley tonight. And if Lashley beats Strowman, he's out of that match. Okay?
Right. And then Miz has to put up his title.
Right. And at least this isn't just a generic they're wrestling for something, which
right.
is like
at least, right.
Right.
But look at how we have to preface it. At least.
So then Cedric Alexander and
what are you going to say, Joe?
Because you guys usually ask me this when we're talking about Raw. The ratings were up. Overall, it was almost a 1.9 million across the 3 hours. So every hour was up.
Interesting.
I thought this show absolutely sucked.
Well, yeah, but you're going to have an audience because there was a title change, so people are going to find out what happened. Cedric Alexander and Sheldon Benjamin against Lince Dorado and Greg Metalik. Greg Metalik and Lince Dorado can sell pretty good. They're very animated. This match did not start off a little sluggish. It got decent, and
but
Cedric Alexander and Sheldon.
But we get back to the same thing. They've been made up to be jack-offs for so long. You can't take them seriously.
Yeah.